passed totally to the wrong team. That's exactly what we did. No, I mean, they're obviously Texas is so good. They're so good, period, let alone at home and in a rivalry game. And the environment was great today. I thought it was great for women's basketball. And it took us a little longer to settle in than I was anticipating. And there were multiple times I looked out on the floor and I'm like, oh my gosh, we have 3 freshmen, a sophomore, and Payton on the floor. So it just took us a little bit. I was really proud of the way that we settled in, obviously, at halftime and came back out, and we were just a little bit better until one little spurt in the second half. But they're really good. They're really experienced. They're good, and they got us.
You talked about how it's sort of taken Aaliyah a little bit to adjust to the physicality of SEC play. What did you see from her today?
Probably the same, and I thought she played really hard. I mean, she plays hard. That's the really nice part. She came out in the second half, and I thought she was good. She obviously had some fouls too, so we had to kind of manage a little bit of that in the second half. But again, it just takes a second, and there's a lot in it. And there were some things that we're going to go back and we're going to take away and say, okay. Now, I don't think anybody did any favors for her in terms of getting open or setting screens or, we had cuts. We just didn't throw them tonight. And then when we did, and we just kind of played our offense, I thought really good things happened. She's included in all of that.
Coach, what do you feel about the Texas depth this year with people like Carlton this year over last year? And
Yeah. Well, I mean, Justice was here last year, and she had great experience last year. But yeah, no, I mean, I think, the nice thing is they have a lot of staples, and then they've brought in a lot of new players, and so they're very, very deep, and they get bigger and bigger and bigger as you go on the bench. So there's a lot of options too. They're a hard team to scout too, because sometimes somebody plays a couple minutes one game, and the next game they're playing 30. So you just have to be prepared, and you have to adjust for so many different people, and at the same time, we knew about Madison Booker, and I thought she lit us up today. So that's something that, they're very, very deep.
Coach, how did you think that Aaliyah handled the pressure of Rory, especially her picking her up full court and then the half court set, and her being a true freshman going against an experienced point guard in Rory?
Well, again, I think what the challenge too is that it's a true freshman plus her freshman teammates too. And so there wasn't a ton of relief. And so there were moments that, Reagan could help, and obviously Payton does so much for her. But do I think that this was her best game ever? No. Do I think this is the worst she's ever played in her life? No. I think she'd like some things back. But obviously Rory's really good. She's a great on-ball defender, and she's going to pressure, and that's what she does. That's what they do. So do I think she passed some kind of a test? I don't know, but she's probably exactly where she's supposed to be to learn and be ready for the next time.
Yes, staying on Aaliyah back here. When she did her last free throw, the crowd started chanting, overrated. How do you make sure that a game like this or that things like that don't get to her?
People outside don't really understand Aaliyah, so I don't really think that's really going to bother her too much. Sure, it might hurt people's feelings, but that's also what you sign up for when you play. So she's somebody that really does want to keep the game, and she loves this team. She loves what she's doing, and you can't live like that. You can't live for, sorry, but do any of you like me? I'm at Oklahoma. No, that's Texas OU. Like, nobody likes anybody from the other school. That's just part of it. So it doesn't really matter what they yell or what they think. It's good in sport. It's fine. She'll be fine. She'll be completely fine.
I like you.
Thanks, appreciate you.
Hey, Jennie.
You're not supposed to. Start trash talking me right now. Start heckling me in the front, please.
You suck. Okay.
How does Texas compare to an LSU or South Carolina? Those are teams you've seen defensively.
Well, every team is different. So I would say the other difference is that we had the other two teams at home, and we were on the road for this game, so that's different. And I know I've only been here for 5 years, but is there really a rival like OU Texas? Period. And so that's something that's a little bit in its own right, something that's unique and special. But I think that's what's really amazing about this conference is you're playing elite teams that are all just a little bit different, right? So obviously Texas gets up and they press you and they're long and athletic and they're going to ball pressure you and they run a million different sets and they have a different looks. LSU, they're making plays. They run very similar things and their players just, they know their offense. They run their offense. They don't press as much, but they're on ball same. They're very, very good defenders. South Carolina is one that has, I talk about endless depth too, all three teams do. South Carolina is just so, experienced. I mean, when you're talking about those two teams, they've won national championships on their roster and compete for SEC championships. I mean, look at what South Carolina's done. It's so impressive. And you were impressed before you were in it with them in the league. Now you're just really impressed because you just see what it takes. And so they're all just a little bit different. And at the same time, they're elite.
Jennie, since you have been here for 5 years, you've gotten to see a lot of Rory, except for, I guess, 2 years ago. What does she provide this team, both offensively and defensively?
I saw her then too. No, I mean Rory. I love Rory, and we're supposed to not like each other. And when you see a young person go through something like that, like an injury that's a hard injury to come back from and lead her team and play really hard, you can't help but have a lot of respect for her. And they are different when she's on the floor and when she wasn't a couple years ago. We know that. But she's an elite point guard. She's Vic's extension on the floor. I mean, that's what you want in your point guards. And she definitely embodies everything, all things Texas.
Payton, you guys outscored Texas in the paint. What were you seeing in there, whether it was matchups with Justice versus Reagan? How were you able to get the ball to your teammates in the paint?
Yeah, I've said this before, but when you have a player like Reagan who's dominant in the paint, I think our goal every game should be to get her the ball as much as we can whenever she's open to score. And obviously in this game would have loved to get her the ball more too. I think it had more to do with us getting open on the wings and us getting in position to get her the ball. But yeah, we know Reagan's really good, so that's when we have her in the paint, we want to get her the ball. So that's really kind of the whole story.
Hey, Coach. Watching the recruiting wars, it's hard to not think of Aaliyah Chavez as a generational talent. Mm-hmm. First of all, what is it like to get her and also to coach her?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, we need Aaliyah. We want Aaliyah. This is a great place for her to learn and grow, and she gets to have Payton Verhulst as a incredible leader and mentor, and Sahara Williams, I think, has done a great job with her as well. And then obviously she gets Reagan Beers, but at the end of the day, she's also a freshman 19, that is trying to really learn and trying to grow and wants to be. She doesn't want to be just an elite point guard. She wants to just play basketball. I mean, that's what she does. She just loves to play the game, and she wants to be the best player she can possibly be, just the best basketball player. And when you have somebody that wants to do that, it's really special. But I think what makes Aaliyah more unique and special than I think people give her credit for is she really does love her team, and she really wants to make the right decisions. And sometimes she's not going to, and that's basketball. But there's not a selfish motivation. There's not it's not about her. And there's a lot of opinions, right, that we like to share about her, but they're not true. They're unwarranted when you're in the locker room with her. So her teammates love her. They want to play with her. She'll bounce back. She's the least of my worries in terms of taking this and never bouncing back. She craves getting better. That's what we want. We want our team to be addicted to growing and getting better, and that's why she's here, and that's what she fits. So I love coaching her. I love coaching everybody. Sometimes Payton is like my own daughter, so some days we don't really like each other, but most days we do.
Yeah, Payton, it seemed like early in the season maybe you were sort of trying to find your way in this offense, but do you feel like you're starting to play your best basketball this season?
I hope not. I hope there's more to come. But I think that, again, we're still figuring ourselves out. We're young, and we're just new to playing with each other. I mean, I'm sure a lot of SEC teams can say that too. But, I mean, looking forward, I know we have a lot more in our tank. So I'm just excited to move forward and take it game by game because SEC is really good. So.
And then, Jennie, does Brooklyn sort of just continue to make a case to play more minutes every single game?
You know, Brooklyn makes a lot of cases. Again, another freshman that just turned 18. But she doesn't always play like that. But there's a lot of moments that she does. I love coaching her. I love her, again, her desire to be great. She's a great teammate. She's funny to be around. Sometimes Payton's the oldest, she's the youngest, so you can see that. But she just wants to get better and better, and of course she is. She also did a great job of staying on the floor. You know, she's been in foul trouble in a lot of the games. That's where her minutes have been more limited because of her foul trouble. But today, I thought she did some really good things.
Payton, using the momentum of that half-court heave at the end of the first quarter, you scored 8 points in the third quarter, really keep your team in striking distance or help to do so. What did you see that worked for you, and what did you find most difficult in the face of the Texas defense?
I mean, obviously, Texas defense is really good. We knew that coming in. Every team in the SEC knows that. So obviously would have loved to just take advantage of them pressuring more and get some easy looks at the basket for Reagan, for backdoors. So I think that once we got into the second half, we kind of started getting those looks off our offense, and then kind of fell back a little bit into what we were doing in the first half. But I think our second half, hands down, was the way that we know we can play. So would have loved to have the first half back and played like that and started that way. But again, can't wish for everything. So we know we're going to get better and continue to take things from the second half that we did well and use it moving forward.
Anything else? Awesome.
You guys, thank you. And you know, I have been here, and this room keeps growing in terms of coverage for women's basketball. So thank you all. Appreciate you. Boomer.
Thank you.
Good luck.